What's good, y'all? Game 2 is in the books. We are officially tied 1-1, each team splitting in Denver for these first two games. This game has a pretty big surprise to me, and I'm sure probably a few of you guys too a little bit surprised. Because Denver was so dominant at home throughout the whole playoffs, they never lost a game besides this one right now. And then throughout even the regular season, I think they said they only lost 7 total games at home, which is insane. I thought Miami wasn't going to win their first game until they went back to Miami and, had that home crowd. Maybe Tyler Hero will be back by then. Then they'll, start to get some momentum. But I was wrong. And what surprised me even more than just Miami winning is the fact that they did it on a game where Jimmy Butler didn't really dominate. Like, he had an okay game, cool game. But I was expecting for Miami to win, he would have to drop 40 or a 30-point triple-double or something like that. And he kind of just coasted. They did it really by committee this game, which really caught me off guard. And my game 1 recap, if you guys didn't see that one, I talked about how Jimmy Butler needed to be more aggressive if the Heat wanted to win. He had, I think it was 13 points. Didn't really shoot the ball a lot. Didn't really look to take over the game offensively and scoring. And in this game, he really didn't do it either. I feel like a lot of the times he was on the court, it felt like he wasn't on the court. He wasn't making a Jimmy Butler impact, if that makes sense. He was just kind of doing his thing. He did play really, really good defense on Jamal Murray, which we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But still focusing on the offensive side for Jimmy, I really do think it's best for him if he looks for those shots. I don't know if Aaron Gordon is just really, deterring him from getting to the rim or trying to at least look for his own shot. But, he had a few good moves in the post against some smaller defenders, so it could be Aaron Gordon giving him problems. Could be his ankle still acting up a little bit. Could just be, I don't know, he's trying to feel the Nuggets out and just, I don't really know. To me personally, though, I think he needs to be more aggressive and really looking at the basket way more than he is right now. He did hit a really, really big shot, though, in that fourth quarter when Miami was, making their charge back from being down. I think it was double digits. He hit a really big corner 3, which was really timely, keeping their momentum up, stopping Denver from trying to, retake the lead in those last few minutes. So I will give him that. He timely buckets. That's, of course, always going to be Jimmy Butler. When the going gets tough, he does get more aggressive. He does score more often. So I will give him that. But, quarters 1 through 3, I'm going to need a little bit more, Jimmy. Speaking of looking for their own shot, though, and being aggressive on offense, Bam Adebayo. Ever since I said we should not be looking for scoring from Bam, he has just been on a, I don't want to say scoring rampage because he's not going crazy. But for him, he's really, really good right now. Another 20-point game, 21 to be exact, with 9 rebounds on 8 for 14 shooting. Very efficient with it, too. His mid-range looks unstoppable right now. He's in a flow. He'll get to that elbow, just rise up. Easy shot right there. He even still, it seems like at least once a game he'll have a crazy dunk. This one was an and-one dunk on, I think it was Jamal Murray that fouled him, maybe Christian Brown. I don't really remember. But it was an and-one dunk. Really shut the crowd up. His intensity on some of those, man, you could feel that as a team, as an opponent, I'm sure. Those really are like game changers. And I don't know how many assists he had this game, but his playmaking had a huge impact as well. He would just get the ball at the top of the key, just up high in the high post and just dish it down. People would hit a cut. He would just pass it right in there. Kind of Jokic-like, I guess you could say. I really do have a soft spot in my heart for big men that could pass. Shout out Isaiah Hartenstein on my team, repping him. But he had that great offensive game. And then, of course, on the defensive side of the ball, he's still going to do his thing. Jokic kind of was cooking him this game, which, again, I keep saying this every single time. No matter what you do, Jokic is going to get his. And we can talk about a little bit of how Miami, their strategy was that, Jokic is going to cook Bam. He's going to cook, Cody Zeller is crazy that they still have him on the court. But he's going to get his own, so might as well let him get his own. Overall, though, a great game from Bam on both sides of the floor. Another guy who had a really good game on both sides of the floor was Gabe Vincent, Miami's leading scorer this game, actually. 23 points on 66% from the field and from the 3. He has just been on a heater. I think I saw a notification saying that he's climbing in the finals MVP ranks. Shout out Gabe Vincent. I'll just leave it at that. His three-point shooting has been so needed for Miami. He's a high-volume shooter, shooting it at a high percentage. There's not much more you can ask for that. And then also his point guard mate, I guess you could say, Kyle Lowry off the bench. He also has been giving the Heat incredible shooting. Again, high volume, high percentage. Both these guys can play make. Both these guys can defend in spurts. I really, really like what Miami's getting from both their point guards throughout these first two games. Hopefully that continues when they go to Miami as well. And then arguably the most valuable player that stepped on the court for the Heat last night, Duncan Robinson. I'm gonna be honest, he wasn't really on anything throughout the first 3 quarters, but when that 4th quarter came, they subbed him in, and he had all the confidence in the world, acted like he was just Klay Thompson dropping 36 last quarter. He was shooting that ball, shot the 3, got to the rim, shot the 3, got to the rim. All of a sudden, it was an 8-0 run right there, 10 points in total. He was killing it to start that 3rd quarter, or that 4th quarter, my fault. And you could tell his teammates were really, really hyped for him. Him, scoring that, getting them so close. I think it was either between 2 or 3 he got them to. His teammates was feeling it. They got that energy boost going. And then from there, the momentum was on Miami's side. And, Denver, they made it close. They tried, but they were closing out after that. And then for the losing side, the Denver Nuggets, they kind of looked flustered, especially to start the game. They looked like they completely forgot how they got to the finals, which was running their offense through Jokic with his playmaking, the cuts, the wraparounds, his dribble handoff, screen, pick and roll, all that stuff with the ball movement completely out the window. They were just shooting the ball. Like, whoever touched it first pretty much shot it. I didn't like how much Jokic was looking to score. Of course, he had an incredible game, 41 points, 11 rebounds. Only 4 assists, though, from Jokic, who has been averaging a triple-double, just had 14 assists last game. Again, incredible game, but early on, he was shooting the ball a lot more than what he was in that game 1. That game 1, he had, I think it was 2 shots or 3 shots in the whole first half, and in this game, he had that in the first few minutes. For most players, when you're game planning, it's, let's say, like a prime James Harden, for example. When you look at him and you were going in to play against him, you'd probably be like, all right, if we can hold him to under 30, we should be able to win this game. For Jokic, it's not, you don't want to hold him under points. You can let him score. You want to hold him under on assists, and that's exactly what Miami did this game. I feel like if you hold Nikola Jokic to under like 7, 8 assists, you have a very, very good chance of winning that game. I don't know any stats on that, what their win percentage is, but that's just me personally. I feel like that's the boundary, the number right there. Back to what I was saying when I was talking about how Bam did a good job guarding him, but Nikola Jokic is going to get whatever he wants when he wants it. There's really nothing you can do. So I think Miami and Spoelstra kind of just fully leaned into that. They were like, all right, no matter who's guarding him, what we're doing, double, triple, whatever, he's going to get it. Let's stop everyone else from getting it. And of course, that prevents Nikola Jokic from using his best ability, the playmaking. That stops Jamal Murray from getting, those backdoor easy layups and dunks to get his momentum going, get him confident. That stops KCP from getting a wide open pass because Jokic just cross court, skip past it right to him. Same thing with Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon can't get his momentum going. It stops the whole team from getting into the flow of the game. And then Jokic is like, all right, I guess I got to score, which, is good. He can do that. But the rest of the team's just shooken up from that. And I know it's crazy to say you had a bad game when you have 41 and 11, and I'm not saying he had a bad game. He had an incredible personal game. But if the Nuggets want to win, another game, win this finals, win this championship, he's going to have to continue doing what he did to get them there, which is playmaking and doing all that. Good thing Jokic was scoring, though, because he was able to pick up the slack left behind by Jamal Murray, who didn't have his best game, definitely way less impactful from the first game. And a big part of that is because he was guarded by Jimmy Butler, who is one of the best defenders in this league right now. He's got a lot more size compared to Gabe Vincent, who's guarding him in Game 1. Again, that comes from the Kevin Love insertion into the starting lineup, allows Jimmy to not have to be stuck on Aaron Gordon just for size purposes. So he was able to use his length and his all-defensive capabilities to disrupt Jamal Murray, who, of course, is Denver's main perimeter ball handler. Wasn't able to get his shot going. He was, shaky throughout the whole first half, really. He had a pretty good second quarter. Happens to be when Jimmy hit the bench. Jokic was on the bench, too, so maybe it was just him fully getting the reins without Jimmy guarding him. But, yeah, he had a pretty bad first quarter, pretty bad first half. Third quarter wasn't really that much, too. Kind of picked it up a little bit in the fourth, but by then it was a little too late. He's going to need to have a lot more impact on these games if the Denver Nuggets want to continue winning. And don't get me wrong, 18 and 10 is not bad, but that 18 is really what I'm looking at. The efficiency wasn't as good as he has been throughout these playoffs as well, so that's something you want to look at. Jamal Murray is by far Denver's best perimeter shot creator, so you're going to need someone like that to break down this very, very good Miami defense, especially in the half court when they're fully set or in that zone. You're going to need someone to be able to shoot out that zone, create his own shot, make his own shot, take his own shot, everything like that. And Jamal was getting clamped by Jimmy. Let's just call it what it is. And after I gave so much praise to Michael Porter Jr. last video, In this game, he was back to being just a shooter, 1 for 6, so he had a bad shooting night. He wasn't rebounding the ball as good as he has throughout these playoffs. He wasn't defending as good as he has throughout these playoffs. So that kind of left him out there as just kind of, a 6'10" void out there. All those memes, he doesn't pass. There's that one specific screenshot I'm remembering where he's taking a fading mid-range, and there's like 3 Nuggets in the paint with no one guarding him. Super funny to look at, but, when you're a Denver Nuggets fan, I bet you that it's not very funny to look at. When you're a Denver Nuggets player, not that funny to look at. He's going to have to, keep that impact up again when that shot's not falling, which it hasn't through these 2 games. He's got to defend. He's got to rebound. He's got to be able to realize when he's not hitting and kick the ball to his teammates. He's definitely got to pick it up. On the bright side, though, Denver's bench was really, really good. I'm going to start off by highlighting Christian Braun because I think he was the real spark setter, at least to spark their first run. Denver started the game really, really bad, but as soon as Christian Braun got in, checked into the game, it felt like everything was different. The whole mojo, the whole flow of the game was just completely changed. He came in, he was getting steals, getting out in transition, quick cuts, passing, just literally doing everything perfectly that you want a role player to do. And that's something when I'm watching a player that knows their role and does their role at an elite level, there's literally nothing better you could do. Derek White, Bruce Brown's another guy on this team that does that a lot. Christian Braun could step into a role like that. Josh Hart, just to name a few guys that just do whatever they need at an elite level. Those are my favorite type of guys, and Christian Braun showed he can do that for this team. Jeff Green also gave them some good minutes, charging to the basket. He got fouled, went to the free throw line a few times, hit some shots. Bruce Brown was a pretty good scorer this game too, rebounding, defense, stuff like that. So on a positive note, Denver, your bench was really good, which, again, if we're trying to look for the positives here, but you're going to need better from Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon was cool. He had a few really nice lobs, but beyond that, I felt like his impact was definitely lower than what it was in Game 1 as well. So you're going to need, from those big 3 besides Jokic, you're going to need them to step up a little bit. If this is your guys' first finals breakdown video of mine, what I like to do is at the end, look at the losing team and see what adjustments they could make and what they could do better in order to bounce back and win the next game. I'm not keeping track, but if you guys didn't see last video, what I said for Miami is they had to put Kevin Love in the game to get, Jimmy Butler onto Jamal Murray. And then I also said Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, they have to play better. They got to get their scoring going. And those things happen, man. So I don't know. I might be knowing what I'm talking about. Who knows? So for Game 3, what I think needs to happen for Denver to have a chance and to bounce back and win, I think, again, like I said, Jokic needs to be playmaking. He needs to get everyone else getting those easy buckets to grow that confidence, especially on the road. Get that confidence going. See just the ball go through the net and just let them flow through the offense more organically than just kind of, oh, damn, nothing can really happen. Jokic, go to work, go to work. You can't really get team ball going like that. And then with Jamal Murray, to get him some more easy buckets, hunt Kevin Love in that pick and roll. By far the worst perimeter defender on Miami. Maybe Duncan Robinson's up there too, but he's really improved. But just Kevin Love, he's old now. He doesn't have the foot speed to keep up like that. So you need to get Jamal Murray to try to get him ISO'd and, get to the basket, get some step back shots, maybe just create space on him. It's easier to do that than on Jimmy Butler or Gabe Vincent or Max Strus or whatever. And then they just got to stick to Miami shooters, honestly. As we saw, they can get hot in an instant. Max Strus went from being 0 for 9 one game, and then he started the game 4 for 5 the next. So they can get hot at a second. Duncan Robinson, again, got hot at that fourth quarter. Stick to their shooters hard. Stick to their shooters very, very close. And honestly, if you're a Denver fan, you guys played, it's a struggle game, back and forth, whatever, and you only lost by 3 points, which is really not that bad if you look at it. The first game, blowout win, things weren't really going your way. This game, things weren't really going your way, only lost by 3. So keep your head up, Denver fans, and Miami, just be happy you stole one. Now you just got to protect home court. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there'll be links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.